Hi, my name is Marcella Toro. Today I'm joined by Dr.Geoffrey Chow, the Chief Strategist of the Forum. Many people are familiar with the ancient Silk Road. Can you introduce the new Silk Roads?
Well, I think some people are familiar with the ancient Silk Road, but I will very briefly explain what the ancient Silk Road is, because then it gives us the background to the new Silk Road. Essentially, there are two Silk Roads. One that goes overland from China via Central Asia to the Middle East and even to Europe. The other Silk Road is the maritime Silk Road. Typically, it comes down from the coastal area of China through the South China Sea, through the Straits of Malacca, and then into the Indian Ocean, and as far as the east coast of Africa. The new Silk Road follow a very similar path. There are, say, goods and services that go from China westward, and also goods and services that go eastward into China. The importance of this so-called Silk Roads, they not only transport goods and services, but as well transmit knowledge, ideas, philosophies, and so on. So the new Silk Road would be doing the same thing.
Can you elaborate on the One Belt, One Road and its relationship to the new Silk Road?
The president of China, Xi Jinping, made it his own initiative and brought in the term called Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI. I prefer using the term New Silk Roads because it has got this continuity and history, which I think to me is more important.
Who will finance this venture?
Over the next 5 years, almost $1 trillion will be poured into infrastructure development. The new Silk Roads link more than 60 countries. Infrastructure is quite poor in most of these countries. They are building roads, railway, pipelines, telecommunication infrastructure, that's very important, and various other facilities that will develop and enhance some of those countries that are receiving these investments. Just relying on one government to do all these developments over decades and possibly the rest of the 21st century is just asking too much. Other countries along the Silk Roads would have to contribute and put in some of their own monies. The Chinese have set up various institutions to finance some of these projects. One is called the AIIB. This is almost an equivalent to the World Bank, and they have so far $100 billion in capital in this particular bank. And of course, the Asian Development Bank has existed for many years, and they would also be interested in some of these very major projects. There is the corridor, and they call it the corridor, that actually came off the Overland Silk Road and going south and going through Pakistan. And that's a $55 million project when it's completed. So this is a very major one. And there are other projects, for instance, in Central Asia, Kazakhstan, where they have developed a transport hub. Other ways I think financing can come in would be through the private sector. So there's no stopping any private company from investing in infrastructure or businesses. So there's lots of opportunities, business opportunities. So financing doesn't have to come from one government or governments, but it can also come from the private sector. I think that's important.
What will the new Silk Road do for global trade?
There are tremendous opportunities when infrastructure developments happen, with vast amount of money being invested into countries along the Silk Road. They'll bring benefits in terms of better transport. So goods and services will travel in larger amount and much quicker. If we use an example with Nepal, a landlocked country, poor infrastructure, and therefore if you put infrastructure in place, then you are going to generate economic activities and economic growth. Just as an example, China has signed up with the Nepalese government to build a railway line from Nepal to China, a road, a highway from Nepal to China as well. And you can see that there's tremendous opportunity for Nepal then to link up to the major overland Silk Road and then tap into opportunities along the overland Silk Road, going westward to Central Asia, to as far as Europe, and eastward into China. So it really opens up Nepal. If we do put the total economies of these countries together, we are talking about close to 30% of the world's economy. So from the very beginning, it has an impact, but I think over the decades and perhaps the rest of the century, we will see tremendous growth where those cities, towns, villages are connected by much better infrastructure.
Which countries stand to gain?
All countries that participate in the new Silk Roads, I think, will gain. But of course, there are countries that would say, well, we are not interested, and that's very few. Most countries in the region have already signed up to the new Silk Roads. They will all benefit. When you put infrastructure into a country, roads, railways, ports, airports, pipelines, telecommunication infrastructure as well, fiber optic, it's bound to generate economic activities. So businesses will benefit, trade will increase. Any country, virtually, who want to participate and tap into the countries along the new Silk Roads will benefit.
The Silk Road, what's in it for Australia?
There's tremendous opportunity for Australian construction and building industry to tap into those opportunities. We are already a major exporter of goods and services, by the way, to various countries along the Silk Road. Australia has expertise, a lot of experience in mining. We've got some of the largest mining companies in the world. The countries along the new Silk Roads have got mineral wealth. You can see Australian companies can tap into that. Another example in services is the great quality of our higher education in Australia. And there's lots and lots of opportunities for Australia to expand even further into countries that we haven't tapped for international students. Already, of course, international students contribute $30 billion to Australia's economy. And there's room to grow. Any country that taps into the Silk Roads will benefit.
Dr. Chow, you'll be hosting the first New Silk Road Forum at the Monash University City campus, the 15th and the 16th of October this year. What can people expect from the forum and learn? Culture
is one area that we will look at. We'll also be focusing on security, because it's very important that, if you are putting a lot of investment and money into infrastructure, countries must feel safe. We also need to have a good legal framework and laws that would govern these inter-country relationships. And of course, we would love to have business people as well who would attend that and gain a lot of knowledge about various aspects of the Silk Road and how they can, in fact, do better business, so to speak, along those Silk Roads countries. So understanding security, the laws, the impact on cultures along those Silk Roads, the environment, will make them better businesses. Government leaders, we will love to see federal and national leaders to attend the forum. And of course, academics and students who are very interested in the region. They get to meet and talk to experts from UK. We've got people coming from Oxford, a think tank in Singapore, a think tank in China, a think tank from Malaysia, and so forth. So you can see it's diverse. We have a multifaceted look at the new SIP roads. In 2019, next year, we'll stage the forum in East Malaysia. We do have in principle agreement to stage the third forum in China. So if delegates want to follow the forum in future years, they get the opportunity to also visit those other countries. This is the first time that anyone has attempted bringing so many think tanks, experts from different parts of the world.
Thank you so much for your time today, Dr. Geoffrey Chow. And I look forward to seeing you at the forum.
And we look forward to seeing all of you there.